At dawn, the ocean boils with captive pufferfish, a living storm beneath steel rings. In these cages, danger and desire collide. Every fish holds both poison and promise. As winches strain and nets tighten, millions of pufferfish surge toward their final journey. With every heave of the cage, the surface explodes, reminding us how fragile this harvest is. One glassy eye meets the camera, as if asking why humans obsess over its lethal flesh. From churning cages to humming boats, the pufferfish flow through pipes like a silver river. Their voyage continues onto land, massive tanks rolling toward a fortress of stainless steel. Behind these walls, precision decides whether this fish becomes a delicacy or a deadly mistake. To understand this razor-thin line, we rewind to the beginning, when each pufferfish was only a speck. In the hush of the hatchery, life starts as drifting sparks in carefully filtered seawater. Day by day they grow, graduating from nursery tanks to the open sea, where real currents test them. Released into offshore cages, they taste wild water, gaining muscle and flavor with every stroke. Measured feed rains down, each pellet calculated to build firm flesh while limiting hidden toxin. Out here, waves shape their bodies. Inside each cage, a future sashimi platter quietly gathers weight. Season after season, they fatten under moving tides, until the cold months signal the next great harvest. Now thick with fat and muscle, they glide in slow circles, unaware that the season of harvest has arrived. As nets begin to rise, the calm rhythm of their world shifts into a crowded, restless tide. Every tug on the ropes shrinks their world, turning open water into a pulsing knot of fish and foam. In moments, calm circles transform into a whirlpool of bodies, a leaden harvest pulled from the sea. From the crush of the cage, they spill into holding tanks, a silver storm gradually settling into order. Before they face the factory, they wait in quiet suspension, a dense galaxy of eyes and scales behind glass. Encased in rolling aquariums, the pufferfish travel inland, their world reduced to vibrating, sloshing glass. Here, the journey turns surgical. Every pump and pipe now leads them toward a place of irreversible decisions. Inside, the first room is simple, just walls, water, and an ever-thickening swarm of pufferfish awaiting sorting. Warnings line the corridors, reminders that this prized harvest carries one of the ocean's deadliest secrets. Guided by narrow channels, they drift step by step toward the bright edge where handling becomes surgical art. In this quiet pause, the water calms them, the frenzy of the harvest fading before the final act begins. Spread out across steel basins, each fish is evaluated, its size and condition determining where it will go next. On a ribbon of moving water, they approach the brightest, cleanest room in the entire facility. Beyond this threshold, the work becomes a dance of millimeter-perfect cuts, where a single mistake is unforgivable. This is the threshold where harvest becomes high-risk craft, and every pufferfish is treated like a live puzzle. Only licensed masters are allowed to touch this fish, their hands trained to separate luxury from lethal danger. Each cut removes the shadows of poison, leaving behind only the pure dorsal meat that will become treasured sashimi. Chilled water polishes the fillets, washing away any trace of the dangerous organs that once lay nearby. Every fillet is inspected like a jewel, its color, clarity, and thickness, checked before it can carry the name taboo. Here, the work turns into choreography, each stroke shaving the pufferfish into translucent petals of flavor. On the plate, the once dangerous fish becomes art, a blossom of near-invisible flesh arranged petal by petal. One wafer-thin slice holds years of trading, months of careful farming, and just enough risk to quicken the pulse. From raw flesh to sealed trays, each pack carries its own ID, a promise of safety backed by a hidden chain of checks. In the chill of the storage bays, the harvest pauses, waiting to fan out across cities and into waiting kitchens. From ringed cages to circular plates, the geometry repeats, linking seawater chaos to the quiet ritual of dining. By the time it reaches the table, the danger is invisible, leaving only beauty, texture, and an electric whisper of risk. Behind the scenes, scientists study how these fish live and poison, searching for ways to farm them more safely and sustainably. Data follows every fish, stitching together ocean, factory, and plate into a traceable, accountable chain. What began as a wild, wary creature ends as a few last slices on a plate, leaving us to decide if this balance is worth keeping. In rooms like this, every future cutter studies the same fish, memorizing where life ends and safe meat begins. Safety hangs on the wall, staring back at every worker, reminding them that this fish forgives no careless cut. Random samples are pulled and tested, turning translucent flesh into data points before anyone dares to serve it. Some of these fillets travel across oceans, packed in cold silence, carrying the story of their long journey at sea. Loaded into steel boxes, the harvest leaves the farm behind, headed for cities that may never see the cages that raised it. Even after millions are taken, some pufferfish remain, circling quietly in the wider water left behind. As shipments leave the coast, new generations are already rising in the tanks, starting the 8-minute story all over again. From specks in nursery glass to spirals on a restaurant plate, every stage depends on the one before it working perfectly. Seen from above, the farm looks like a constellation, each circle holding its own galaxy of pufferfish and risk. Sensors and cameras watch the cages day and night, turning clouds of pufferfish into lines of numbers on glowing screens. Every meal is measured, each pellet a calculated choice to build flavor while keeping the invisible toxin in check. Visitors come to see the fish up close, learning how a once feared creature became one of Japan's most controlled delicacies. As the farm lights flicker on, the pufferfish keep circling, indifferent to the paperwork that defines their fate. Far from the open sea, fillets arrive as one more ingredient, yet every chef knows this fish demands special respect. In the darkness of the cages and the hush of the dining room, this fish links two worlds with one fragile razor-thin line. Up close, every spot and fiber tells a story, from living skin of the cage to trembling flesh on the cutting board. Even when storms rake the surface, the pufferfish keep circling below, riding out weather that shapes their strength and taste. Here, people come face to face with the fish themselves, long before they ever see them as thin white slices on a plate. Digital models and real fillets sit side by side, turning the pufferfish's anatomy into a map that chefs can safely follow. Logos and labels echo the same round silhouette, branding this once feared creature as a carefully controlled indulgence. One moment, it's a lone fish weaving through a cage. The next, it's a single fillet gliding toward the blade that will define its fate. From far above, farms look like small marks on the sea, but inside, each ring is a dense, moving world of pufferfish lives. Centuries of art painted this fish as danger incarnate, yet today, its eye reflects cages, factories, and delicate white petals on a plate. Careful management decides which young fish stay to grow, and which have already reached the precise size that diners crave. From crowded schools and steel-ringed seas to a single glowing dish, the pufferfish's journey ends in a bite that took an ocean to create.